Okay, so we're going to move on to the final section here, which is from docs to decks. And Dave, just talk me through what you're going to do in this final section.
Right. So, how many of you, raise of hands, digital hands, how many of you are classroom teachers? Let's see here. Well, we got one.
Michael? Yeah.
Michael is, and so I started teaching back in 2001, and some of the lessons that I've built over the years, I may have let get stale. But it's, I think it's normal. We go through this. We want to keep teaching. We've spent a lot of work building something that works. And sometimes pivoting from that, updating that seems kind of incomprehensible. It seems difficult to do. Maybe it seems like, why are we going to do it? One of the subjects I teach is digital photography, design, Photoshop, and I use some very old textbooks and documents for that. And this comes from a design text that, I don't even have the title of the full text anymore, but many years ago, back in 2004 or so, I scanned the chapters, and they have some great examples. But essentially, it's about focal point. How do we emphasize and control the eyes of our viewers as they look at an image? And the truth is that this is kind of dated. There's been a lot of changes in design. There's been changes in the way that we go about teaching it. There's been changes in what we can do with photography. This old scanned book. So I've just pulled up the scan that I made back in 2004. I had Adobe make it readable, and then I saved it into my OneDrive so it can be accessible to Copilot. So essentially, what I want to do is I want to ask Copilot to look at this document, make a summary, but I also wanted to update some of the examples. I wanted to look at some of these examples and keep some, but I wanted to suggest, like, what are some contemporary looks at focal point that I could add to what I do. I'm pretty sure this document I'm using was made in the 80s. So,
Showing your age there, Dave.
well, it was taught to me. This book was taught to me when I was a student.
Nice.
So it's so I have this document saved in my OneDrive. Again, I've already written these prompts, but essentially in Copilot, I'm going to tell it, hey, I want you to write an updated outline of this academic content on focal point. And then I need to add the document here. So you can do that by clicking this little reference a file, and then you have to type the name of the file. So I see there's my old PDF. It's so old, it doesn't even have the right icon on it. And I want you to provide some detailed summary and also some current examples of how focal point is used today in photography, art, and design. And then I tried that prompt at first, but I had to add this. When providing examples, please reference specific artists and their works by title, specific filmmakers and their works by title. So give it a lot of detail of what you want. It first just gave me some generic ideas, but I wanted to give me specific artists. I'll put that. And so it's now just looking at that document, and it's giving me a great outline of the document itself. So I can look through this. I can see that it gives me some of the things I'm looking for. It gives me a good summary. So I'll say keep it. And then I will save that into my OneDrive so it is accessible. And now what I want to do is make a PowerPoint. I'm going to save this real quick. It does take sometimes a second for it to upload to OneDrive, but not too long. But now I'm going to use that summary to create a presentation for let me just close this out. My Camtasia always wants to tell me what to do. So I'll create a presentation. So I'm going to click this little Copilot icon here. And now I want to say, create a presentation from this focal point outline that I just made. So now it's going to look at that outline. It's going to pull in, it's going to kind of create an outline for the presentation, um, generate slides. Again, it takes a little bit of time, but not as much time as making your own or even re-updating your own PowerPoint. All right, so it now gives me this outline. Now I do need to go through and edit. I don't know if I need this agenda, but you'll see it is pulling in the most important elements. It's offering me some pretty basic uh, imagery. Like for example, here it's like the pine on the corner. These are actual images from the document. So what I would have to do, of course, is just have those images available, which I do. So what I want to do now is insert just a few of my own images. I want to update this a bit. I'm not going to update the whole PowerPoint, but what I want to demonstrate is how this saves time. We can upload from this device. I've got this in my Design Basics folder, and you'll see I've got these 3 images that I want to add. So I can throw these in there, and Designer is going to give me some examples. I do want to delete that default one. Now it doesn't want to give me some design elements, but again, you can just add the images that you want. I guess me deleting its default image got rid of Designer. I think if I come out and come back in, it will. There we go. And then I can use, I want the whole image here. So then I can use, Designer in PowerPoint to speed that work up. So I can go through here and I want to see what examples it gave me that might be more contemporary examples. Let's see here. What I want to demonstrate is that there's I know there's some examples in here that I could grab. Okay, here are some photography examples. So we've got Annie Leibovitz work, her famous portrait of John Lennon and Yoko Ono, and Steve McCurry's Afghan Girl. And you'll see it's given this Afghan, it knows that image, but this is not Steve McCurry's Afghan Girl. So if I want to update that image with the actual image, I can just go into the insert pictures. Let's use the online pictures. And then I can grab the one of the original images, hopefully, of Afghan Girl. And insert that in and replace it. Now, this isn't the full image. You'll have to do a little bit of hunting maybe to find the exact image. But what I want to try to show here is that we can quickly reorganize, and using the power of PowerPoint with Copilot, in addition to its features of Designer, you can quickly update your document and have an updated PowerPoint with some updated examples that might be helpful for your students and re-engage your students in ways that you wouldn't be able to before. And then the last thing that I would do is in this document, the last thing that I would probably do is create some assessments. So I'm going to grab a new document here, and I want to I already wrote the prompt to, create some assessments. So what I wanted to do is create 3 photography assignments that can help my college level photography students. I want to provide some clear instructions for each assignment, and I wanted to grab some photographic art pieces that demonstrate how they can do that. So as outlined in this document right here. I want to add the focal point outline, which is right here. And again, it's going to grab that document, skim through it, and develop assignments with instructions, assessment criteria. It's now going to give some examples of photographic art. Again, it grabbed the same examples, Annie Leibovitz for the first one, but we'll get some new examples such as Banksy's Girl with Balloon. And then I'll say keep it. Now, again, I can go through this, I can edit this, but in less than 30 minutes, actually about 15 minutes here, we have created a framework to update this lesson plan that I've been doing for years on focal points with some new elements, some more contemporary elements. And it's given me the ability to revisit content I know well, so I can support my students' learning.